We're here. Your president is over here. He's in Scotland. He arrived half an hour or so ago. He was asked about Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, it's obvious that she wants some sort of pardon, so she maybe can serve out the rest of her sentence here. She could be eligible for parole in a couple of years. There's some kind of negotiating going on. Otherwise, why would Todd Blanche and other people have been to see her now twice in Florida?
Well, interestingly, apparently during the whole time she has been under investigation and on trial, nobody bothered to ask her who else was involved in all this. We have very few names for a guy who was supposedly involved with quite a few people. Some names keep coming up, obviously. President Trump gets mentioned with regularity. Today, the president mentioned Bill Clinton. They were talking to him before he left for Scotland in the gaggle. And he said, why are you asking me? Why don't you talk to Bill Clinton? He went to Epstein Island 28 times.
28 times?
That's what President Trump said.
Is that in the flight logs? 28 times?
Well, I guess we will find out. That is what President Trump said, and he pointed out that he himself had never been to Epstein Island. So the question that keeps coming up to me is, we have all these investigations, we have all these documents, we keep not hearing names about who's involved. Yeah, we get the occasional Prince Andrew. But the big question here about the lack of release of the documents is cui bono? Who benefits from the files not being released? We already know that President Trump is mentioned in the files. There are pictures of Epstein at events where President Trump appeared. I'm pretty sure, having worked in New York and attended high-profile events over the years, I probably showed up at an event or two with Epstein, unbeknownst to me. It's just the way things work in New York high society. And who else is involved here? We keep not hearing. And you sort of have to wonder why that is. Who are these names? Is it such that if the names got out, the entire fabric of American society would disintegrate? Because, it would be everybody and everything that we know. It's a little bit like the Diddy trial that way. We kept hearing about Diddy throwing these wild parties with all of the things that went on at the parties. But in evidence, we never had any witnesses who were at the parties take the stand. Supposedly, lots of A-listers were at these parties, but they were not part or parcel to that trial. We just kept seeing the video of Cassie Ventura getting beaten up in the hallway at the hotel over and over again on loop, but that wasn't even one of the charges. So was he throwing parties that nobody attended? Same thing with Epstein Island. Did he have this secret island where nobody apparently went ever?
Well, I know.
What's going on?
We know who went to Epstein Island because we've got the flight manifests. Can I?
Yes.
Let's get back to the Epstein files. Of course, the Wall Street Journal has been running stories that have got right up Donald Trump's nose, to the extent that Donald Trump is suing Murdoch and the Dow Jones and Robert Thompson, the boss of Dow Jones, and so on, because they printed what I would imagine to be a pretty trivial story about a birthday card that allegedly Donald Trump drew for Epstein's 50th. They've also gone further and said that they've discovered bits of the Epstein files in which Trump has been cited. Now, my question to you is this. If Trump has nothing to hide, as he says, and is going after Murdoch for $10 billion, why won't they publish the Epstein files?
That was the question I just asked. It hasn't been just a Trump administration option. The Biden administration had the files for the 4 previous years. The thought on the right is that if they had anything on Trump in those files,
Biden would have
would have been released 4 years ago. I mean, they were going after the guy for everything. They went back after him for paying back a loan. They would have gone after him for parking tickets if he drove himself. So if they had something on him in the Epstein files, why would they not have used that?
I suppose maybe they wanted to plead the fifth on that because it incriminated some Democratic presidents too.
Oh, perhaps, but, I think given the level of...
like Clinton, for example.
Yes.
Donald Trump keeps trying to throw shade on Clinton and say, don't look at me, look there. He does this prestidigitation whereby he always creates something else so you don't actually look at where the actual fault or problem might be.
Well, there can be a problem in two places at once.
There certainly can. Okay, so Ghislaine,
Congressman
why
Wes
is
Hunt
Todd Blanche talking to Ghislaine now?
Well, I suppose there is some idea that perhaps she'll roll on the right people and not roll on Trump and then earn herself a nice fat pardon. What I find more curious is why hadn't she been spoken to before? She went on trial, got convicted, and we never heard any names of this sex trafficking business that she was running. Ordinarily, if you have a sex trafficking business, you would have some people you were trafficking the young women too. Was this just for Jeffrey Epstein's entertainment? Were there no other people involved? I keep hearing that lots of other people, we have flight logs, were going to the island for whatever reason. So in the course of her trial, this never came up. There were no other people mentioned.
Why
Again,
wasn't she asked?
It's like Diddy.
It's like madness. It's like madness. Who were the clients for the list?
Well, now she's being asked, apparently.
Okay.
Finally.
So this is going to be gold dust for Trump. If these are people he wants to take down, he also could, if she's amenable to some kind of deal or plea sweetheart deal, she could exonerate him in return for a pardon, presumably. But wouldn't that be a terrible obstruction of justice if that was to take place?
Well, one could make the argument, I suppose. It depends who else goes down, maybe. Congressman Wes Hunt from Texas said today that, and he's been involved in some of the investigatory work, he thinks that we're dealing with mostly big Hollywood names. So that would make sense given the circles that Epstein moved in. There are some who think there are big political names as well. And again, we get back to Clinton and flight logs. But, look, this is not going to be pretty no matter how it turns out.
Okay, so before everyone gets the popcorn out, in case Ghislaine Maxwell is squealing like a canary, because then, as you say, big political West Coast, East Coast names could be revealed as being part of the Epstein circle. How badly is this playing with Trump's base? How badly is MAGA reacting to this continuing association of their beloved president with a convicted paedophile?
Well, don't forget, they understand that everybody is out to get him. They tried to shoot him two times last year.
But this is different, though, isn't it? They don't like this.
That he was involved with Jeffrey Epstein at some level. It has been established that once Epstein got into the legal crosshairs and was under indictment and being legally prosecuted, that Trump no longer had anything to do with that. He supposedly threw him out of Mar-a-Lago for making moves on some of the help. So in the era in which Epstein was known to be a bad guy, he broke ties with him. That's been established.
I thought that was over a property deal that went wrong. Maybe that was just the cover.
Heard it both ways.
Okay. Wow. I mean, please come back and keep us up to date on this story, because it ain't going away, is it?
Doesn't seem to be. And, the problem for both sides is that there could be collateral damage on both sides. Obviously, the left is hoping this will be the one that takes down Trump, but I doubt it.